Howdy, folks, and welcome to another episode of Stanley and the Sea Can. What do we got here today? Well, looks a lot like part of an SKS here, and this little black doohickey here. Any ideas what this is? It's got a cool shape to it, everything else. It's made of like a rubber that's pretty high durometer. So durometer is like the standard measure of how hard a rubber is or how flexible and stuff, right? So what this is called a recoil buffer. And so some firearms have them, some don't, and some have optional ones. So this particular one is designed for the SKS. So what happens if you're to shoot this firearm, as it does its functions in its semi-auto, you pull the trigger, the hammer comes up, whacks the firing pin, moves through the chamber, ignites the primer, which burns the powder, and then gases are going to come up here, all the way to here, come back, and then there's a little piston that moves and smacks the other piston in here, and now that piston is going to whack the carrier and impart an inertia. So as we do this, it's going to come back, and then you can hear the metal on metal hit. So these military type firearms are typically way overgassed, and they're overgassed for the reason that in the field, you don't want to have someone have a short stroke or something like that and have failure to fire. So they overgas everything, so it's got tons and tons of power, and it's going to be reliable cycling. However, that means on our market, when we're trying to use them for hunting or plinking or whatever else, they can kick and they can make all sorts of noise, and it's more aggressive in the recoil than it needs to be. So two options. The one would be to modify your gas block to have some sort of an adjustable gas flow. So as the gases come from the barrel, this firearm, it's up on at the 45-degree angle, comes up here, so you can intersect the little line, the hole inside of there, and put something in it, kind of like we usually use a set screw or something, so you can thread in the screw as far as you need to restrict the passageway, essentially making it smaller on a temporary basis. And then you can adjust the firearm for the specific ammunition that you're running, so it cycles nice and smooth. Because in all honesty, if this thing was going to come back, if it was back to even there, let's see, yeah, right about there, we still have almost an inch of stroke left to go. That's more than enough to eject the previous cartridge and then have the bolt to grab the next one from the magazine. So if you're shooting it and it goes all the way back to there and smacks, it's just kind of showing you how overgassed it is and everything else. So that can be bad. It can cause damage to your carrier, to your receivers, to your top caps and everything else. So I thought we'd go over a quick video on how to install one of these things and what it does, where it goes. So in this setup we have here, we've simply just taken the SKS out of its stock. So, you pop off the trigger group, pop off the duck bill, and the whole stock just kind of comes away, especially if you open the bayonet. You can see it down there. And now once you have this out, I guess you don't even have to do all this far. You can leave it together. But this is the state we're in. So this little guy here is typically down there. This one was a bit stiff, so I've kind of knocked it loose. So you're not seeing me whine and complain about poking things. And there's this pin here that goes straight through the receiver. It's attached to this little stamped leader arm. It has another pin that's protruding through it. So in order to pull it out, you have to have this leader arm essentially vertical. As you can see, there's a little bit of, I got the pin engaged. It's got a little bit of play to it, so it's not 100% perfect. But you just got to be up there somewhere, you'll feel it. And then if you just kind of give her a bit of a wiggle and pull up, like towards the camera here, there it goes. It pops out. And so that releases this top cover. And so we can see here, it's a round shape here, and then it has this little like kind of keyhole profile. There's a little square notch up down here. So on this pin that we just moved, it has nice greasy, dirty, Cosmo covered, lubricant covered pin right here. So that's what we're manipulating. So it's timed to this. So as we rotate this up, it forces that pin to go down so it can go through this slot and be released from the fire. So long way to say what we got going on here. So at this point, we can pull this out. We don't have to, but just for a quick little video, this is my pro tips and everything else on an SKS. So if you take out, this is the carrier, this is the bolts of this particular firearm. Ooh, look at that beauty. Nice military surplus. So you can see all the actions up here. It's just, this is a milled receiver, so you can see like the little circular scratches in here. So that's where someone's end mill went across when cut this. And we can feel that nice step in there. So this is high quality, let's see, I'm going to guess Chinese in. Oh yeah, right there. Factory 26 orders. Kudos to you. Anyway, so yeah, now that we've got all this part, you need your easy cleaning and everything else. And to put it back together, what I like to do is build it upside down. So if you try to put these parts in, they kind of wobble and be weird stuff. So if you spread it together upside down like this, there you go. Nice and easy. So anyway, back to the main topic. I'm getting diverted today. So this little guy here is going to go, looks like it fits just about perfectly right there. Just like it's designed to go. Swish them in. There we go. And then once he's in there, we're going to slide him all the way to the back. and he's going to sit something like that. So now, when this is the action swing with this particular firearm, when he goes in there, he's going to kind of go into this little cup and be this thing. There he goes. He's going to actually beat. That'll kind of press in as you use it and such. So then, put this guy back in. He just goes in the hole in the carrier there. I'm going to slide this on here, and then we're going to see it doesn't go in anymore. Oh no, that's because I was messing with it, and this pin had slid in. So don't get the hammer up just yet. And yeah, push it in like that, and then it's has some spring pressure. So at this point, I'm compressing the action spring. It just kind of maxes out, and it's roughly flush right here. And then now at this point, I'll have this pin up, so I can wheel that detent through the hole and push it in and slide it down, and it'll lock it in place. It's of course all the way down and put a detent again. So now, if we were going to fire this thing, it comes back, and you see it doesn't go back as far, but now we're smashing hard against that rubber. So he can, maybe depending on how the sound is working here today, we're in the middle of a hurricane or something outside, but it's still kind of sounds a little bit metallic, but it's kind of like the spring bit's winding up, and there's like stiffeners inside of the spring, 2-piece stiffener. But it's not going back all the way as it was before, and it's now hitting that rubber stock. So if you're firing this, now instead of having that carrier come back and just smash steel on steel, you've got steel hitting rubber, depressing it into another piece of steel. So it's going to prevent any damages like you could see in some situations after a lot of use and such. Let's get these bad boy open again. We're going out. There he comes. Since the carrier is just going to be smashing back and forth all the time, right? This guy should go in here, I believe. Yeah, so now you can see he's hitting this rubber piece he was put in there, right? So without that rubber piece being there, the back of this, the tactical pointer works as a probe key. That now we're going to be smashing steel on steel, right? So that's not ideal, but you know, it's getting off steel and steel, but it is going to eventually wear, and you are going to see way down there some damages over time, and possibly these carriers are crazy hard, so they should be harder than these top plates, but you could possibly see some sort of mushroom here. And I'd kind of wager the reckoning bet that the reason why this chamfer right along this edge is just so monstrously large, ooh, those file marks, I'm going to do this by hand, and it's there so that as this gets hammered in, it's not going to create that little like mushroom top look like the top of a chisel or something has over time. So that could cause it to jam up in the civil top cover, right? So by cutting that out, we get it a little bit more time before it starts to screw up. So anyway, that's far as the normal maintenance thing, but if you could reduce your recoil and reduce the shock on all the parts, everything's probably better solution for you. Actually, looks like you need to split this in and turn it too. There we go. And yeah, she slides right in there. You can change them out if you need to, or use them up, and so you can never forget about them, wherever you want. So yeah, in a quick couple of second video here, that's the SKS Recoil buffer, and so it's preventing the carrier from going all the way back and smacking steel on steel. So now we have something soft in there to hit on. It makes a deep thud versus a clang clang of steel on steel. And yeah, it still allows the bolt carrier to go back far enough to drag a bolt back to have ejection of the previous stat casing and strip a new one from the magazine. And this is applicable for firearms. Doesn't matter if you're using a detachable duckbill, a fixed duckbill magazine, or an AR magwell, or whatever you got on there, AK mag conversion, anything. The magazine assembly is kind of isolated and separate from this, but so it'll function with all of them. It's just kind of working the top end a little bit. So yeah, there you go. So a quick little SKS mod, almost considered an essential mod, I guess. But it's one of those cool things you can do to make your firearm a little bit more user-friendly and well, special to you. Unless you want to mess with making a custom gas lock or reloading rounds and all that stuff, but that's no fun. It's an SKS, right? Just grab that case of surplus and just send it, bud. All right. Thanks so much. Like Grandma always says, your beauty will fade, but your awkwardness will last forever.